Happy Sunday, everybody. I am back. Yes, I was away for 1 week, but I'm not the only thing that's back. Football is back, man. And what a weekend it's been. Thursday to today. Today was big, man. My football fantasy team, well, I did horrible. I did better on my bench than I did with my actual lineup. But yeah, man, happy to see you all here. Tonight's guest is a great big guest, somebody I've been watching for quite some time. Now, before we get to him, I just want to remind everybody that just recently, the channel is relatively new, but we've already hit 250 subscribers. So we're going to be doing a giveaway this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right. My way of saying thank you to everybody. So if you're watching this live or you're catching the replay, do come and hang out Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be giving away some bundle books, some single books, and of course, I'm also going to be giving away a $50 eBay gift card donated by Dan De La Torre. Some of those books are also donated by Lefteros, Comic Nation, so expect some cool stuff to be given your way, guys. All right, like I said, big guest, somebody I've been watching for quite some time, and I've been loving his journey, man. With his truck and bus, going all across the place. And unfortunately, he did have some hiccups along the road as within the last week, but nonetheless, he still made his way here. He is here, and guys, I have a great honor to introduce Mr. Bueller. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's so cool to be hanging out with you tonight. Of course, football is underway, so I expect a lot of people to be watching that. We're going to get some people on the replay, that's for sure. But
well, I'm more of a college fan myself, so we play on Saturdays.
There you go.
Oregon State and University of Oregon are both ranked in the top 20 right now, and they're off to a good start. So I did catch a few of the highlights of those, but I haven't watched anything today, so I'm a little behind. But more of a college guy for me.
There you go. Yeah, no, college football is very intense, man. It's the future. It's the future. But yes, so thank you so much for coming to hang out tonight. I was actually just recently talking with you backstage, but recently you also made a video saying that you had some issues with the bus.
Yeah. So I'm in my backup vehicle right now. This is actually my truck that I leave at my sister's house in my hometown. I'm actually back in my hometown, getting my mechanic to fix some of the issues I've had on the bus over the past year, and there're just some things that have been lingering on for a while. I had a mechanic in Kansas last year do a patch job on some stuff that didn't do a very good job, so I'm now having to get that redone and refixed, which is a pain in the because it's a nice pricey bill to get to literally have something redone I've already paid for. And so that's a little frustrating, but we're getting the things done. There's always bumps in the road, and but it's worth it, and I knew this going into that you're going to get some hiccups along the way. Driving across country 6 times in a 30-year-old vehicle, it's going to run into some problems every now and then, but you know what, for the most part 99% of it has been just fantastic. So I'm not complaining. I'm just happy I get a chance to do it.
I almost feel like these mechanics do it on purpose. It's like, yeah, you're good for now.
Yeah.
You're good for now.
I wish I knew all the stuff and would be able to call them out. That doesn't make sense, but I don't. I know a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to know. So
yeah,
they got me.
Exactly. But well wishes. I hope you were hoping to get it back by Wednesday as well. So yeah. I hope so. And like I was saying, recently you've been putting out some content. You did some sales as of late, and you're doing sales for great causes too, which has been very impressive too. Tell us about that.
So my main sponsor is Dynamite, and for the last probably about 6 months on Thursdays we do a live claim sale with them. It's pretty much I just kind of host it. They're selling their merchandise and stuff like that, and other books besides Dynamite books. Yep. And I always get a percentage of whatever the sales is, like a commission base. And I've received that ever since we started doing it 6 months ago. Our friend Jennifer, who does a YouTube channel called Comics Will Break Your Heart, she's a local here in Portland. She's a very good friend of mine. She is dealing with cancer right now. She's fighting the battle and stuff like that. So over the last month and a half, I have donated all of my commissions 100% to Jen. So anything anyone buys on those shows that we do, there's a nice little chunk of that money goes straight to Jen, And like I said, I donate 100% of whatever is thrown my way. And I'm doing that for the rest of the month of September. And also, people just are donating to Jen in general as well with her PayPal. And it really does help her out. She's kind of off social media as far as YouTube right now because she's going through quite a bit. It's not
Of course.
that she's battling. She just started chemo last week, and her first treatment was last week. And I'm really proud of her. She's, we just had coffee the other day, and she's really thankful for all the support and all the people reaching out and stuff like that. But she's just kind of focusing on herself and trying to stay positive. And I told her, I said, we're raising this money for you to help you pay for your medical bills and your expenses, because she's not working right now because she can't work while she's doing this. But I also told her, I go, take some of this money that you get and go do something fun. Go and enjoy yourself, because you deserve that. You deserve to treat yourself once in a while. Don't just look at, this is for another bill. If there's a concert in town that you want to go see it, because you know what? Life's short. And she's dealing with a life-threatening disease, and she needs she has, and she's if there's a movie playing in the old theater, she goes and sees it. She's trying to enjoy her surroundings and stuff, that keep her spirits up. So we've been doing those sales every Thursday. So if anyone wants to join those, they're every Thursday at 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, 6:00 Eastern. We go for about 2 hours. And like I said, 100% of my commission goes straight to Jennifer. And then we did a auction last night with some of my books that I had. And that was for me just to help raise a little bit of money to help pay for this wonderful bill I have waiting for me on Thursday. It's like a $3,000 bill. It is what it is, whatever. It's just money, it's not that big of a deal. And for what I get to do, it's I literally get to live my dream, and so you can't put a price tag on that. So if it is $3,000, it is. You pay it, you move on, you enjoy the next day. So that's what I'm looking at. So.
Well, the next time you do come across her, let her know that she's got the entire community behind her. A lot of people here in the chat, including myself. I'm very moved by the movement you're doing right there, making those sales and donating your commission. So shout out to you, and best wishes. Tell her to stay strong. Keep positive. It's all in. You got to keep positive. That's.
She's a really great person, and I remember when she moved here to Portland a few years ago, and I saw a picture of her on Instagram, and she was by a local Portland monument. I was like, oh, that girl looks really cool. I wonder if she'd be my friend. She looked way cooler than I did. And I was like, we hung out and we became really good friends. So I was like, man, you just upped my cred quite a bit. So she's really special to me.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. Speaking stories, though, I recently caught one of your episodes where you did some Q&A, I guess we could say, where the chat put up some questions for you regarding what it's like being on the road. And I gotta say, that's some great content. Everybody here in the chat, or if you're catching the replay, go check that video out. But there were some good things there, and I gotta say, the one that did not surprise me was the those rest stops that you make and you get the knock on the door. That one.
The lot lizards, as they're called.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know what that term was until my friend told me about it a couple of years ago before I started this journey. He goes, watch out for the lot lizards. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then he told me about it, and I was like, oh, you're full of you know what. And then literally within a few months, I'm sitting at a truck stop, and sure enough, I'm like, hello? There's some lady outside my door. I'm like, no, I'm good. Move along. These are not the droids you're looking for. But so I don't stay at truck stops anymore after that one. So
were you starting to notice truck problems after that incident, or?
There's a potato in my tailpipe, but I don't know. I try to be nice, so.
But it's great. And like I said, guys, if you haven't yet, go check out some of that content. But speaking of the chat, let's say hi to the chat. There's people here definitely waiting to get some hellos too. So let's start with Comic Chic, who was here first. Appreciate him being here. He actually invited me on his channel, so I will hopefully be on very soon. We also have Michael Baker here, one of the biggest supporters, I swear to God, when it comes to channels within the community. He is everywhere to be seen. But yes, welcome back to me. And of course, the NFL, baby. Newbie Comics in the house. Yes, Newbie, myself, and Rocksteady. Hopefully the three of us will be together this Tuesday on his channel at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. So Keep an eye out for that. Spine Ticks is in the house. Yes, the Pomplamoose content. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of the band Pomplamoose, Bueller, but
Uh-uh.
it's I came across it on their channel, and ever since it's just haunting me.
Okay.
Hyper Combo Comics, appreciate him. If it wasn't for this guy, I probably wouldn't even be doing any YouTube. So thank you for being here. Chia Pets in the house, somebody I truly enjoy talking everything comic and pop culture related with. This guy's a gem, but thank you for coming to hang out. DJ Links, yes, guys, I actually have some news about DJ Links, so you're gonna hear it here first. Not next Sunday on the 17th, but on the 24th, DJ Links is gonna be joining me on this channel on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
Let's keep it going. Nostra Venom's in the house, another local here in Montreal. I'm in Montreal, Canada. You touring Canada?
Next year.
There you go. There you go. You make sure you hit me up, man, when you're here. I'll take you to some cool shops. But yeah, man, appreciate him being here. We've got JF76 in the house. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. We got Rocksteady, who's recently back from vacation. He was in Mexico doing his thing, and he was taking some deep dives, and I'm sure he still managed to find statues, comics, wherever he was in that ocean. Mutual friend of ours, Lefteros Comics, is here. Appreciate him being here. He does so much for the channel and of course the community, always putting out some great content, so go check him out. We got Neighbor to the North here up in Canada, of course, on the West Coast, so appreciate him coming to hang out. Dan Delatorre, fellow American of yours here, coming to hang out as well, so I appreciate him being here. He's going to be on with me on Wednesday for the giveaway show, so I appreciate him coming tonight. We got Cali Comics, of course, within the house. Hood Rat, brother of mine, appreciate him being here. I'm hoping I didn't miss anybody. No, we got Constantino as well, another fellow Canadian out west. Guys, you heard him. He's coming to Canada. Keep an eye out for that bus.
Yeah. Next year, I'm planning on going all across Canada. So I'll enter through Washington State, drive across Canada, and come out to Niagara Falls.
Okay, nice.
That's the plan.
Yeah, that's a pretty big ride.
Yeah.
I don't even want to imagine what fuel costs. I don't even want, especially today. Like today's fuel costs are ridiculous. But yeah, AOA is here. Appreciate AOA coming to hang out with us tonight. It's always a pleasure having you here. I think we've got pretty much everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. We're gonna get into the show, but I'll come across your comments. We've got Canadian Survivalists, another fellow Canadian. Appreciate you coming to hang out here tonight. But all right. Let's get into the show, some of the fun stuff. So like I told you, we're going to kick it off with some FOC stuff. Then we're going to talk market. There's some interesting books on the market that moved within the last week, including a Baker Shaker. That's right. Michael Baker, who's here in the chat. I call it a Baker Shaker because he hits me up in the DM and we'll be like, hey, look at this sale that took place this week. So we're going to dedicate that one to him. And of course, we have the hot topics of the week. So I got to ask you, Mr. Bueller, with FOC, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it, man.
All right. All right, so FOC picks of the week by Lefteros. If you guys aren't already, go follow him on Instagram. And the big news for Lefteros is he's officially writing the new Comic Book Day section and FOC section for cover price on their website. So definitely go get a more in-depth look on the website for new Comic Book Day and FOC. But very quickly, we will get through his picks. And of course, go visit comicnation.us and use the discount code Blakk Crown for an additional 5% off, totaling your discount to 20% off these FOC books. So, first book up here is Batman City of Madness. This is the first appearance of the Batman Below. To be honest with you, I think I might pass on this one. I know I might regret this one. Mr. Bueller, I don't know if you're reading all of these Batman titles that are going out. But yeah, what are you?
Who the hell is Batman Below? What is that?
It's not the one that's above, that's for sure.
So is this the Devil Batman? Is this like the Spawn version of a Batman or something?
It seems like it, but I'm gonna wait for this one and see what the feedback's gonna be. Because it's rather hard to keep up with all these Batman titles and so forth. But great pick by Lefteros. We'll see how this one pans out. All right. The next pick by Lefteros. Now, this one's interesting. It's My Little Pony. And I know we giggle, but we saw recently My Little Pony take off. It was that RI variant. And I swear to God, it was hitting numbers I never thought would hit But we've got My Little Pony, Black, White, and Blue one-shot first appearance of Misty. Guys, like I said, the last one took off. We don't know. This just might do the same. So
Yeah, I got a good feeling about Misty. Every girl I've ever met named Misty meant something special. So if it's a Misty Little Pony horse, it's probably something pretty good.
yeah, exactly. So again, I'm not into that. I still find it funny that I think it's grown men. I want to say it's grown men that are going out to pay
It's the
pretty penny
bronies.
for this.
The bronies are buying
Bonus.
it. Bronies, yeah.
Hey, to each their own. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking on anybody. It's just not my cup of tea. So,
Yeah.
but all right. Next pick is Void Rivals #1. Now, I don't know if you're reading any of the Void Rivals stuff
Yeah.
that's going on, but Robert Kirkman is doing an incredible job out the gate so far. And currently this week on FOC, there is Transformers #1. So if you guys are into this, definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, the fourth printing. This book made it to fourth printing. I think it's a neat cover, and I'm definitely picking this one up.
Yeah, I picked up the first one, the issue 1 on that, and read it. I liked it quite a bit. You know, Robert Kirkman is very passionate about comics, so him getting the license to do the G.I. Joe and Transformers and bring that world together, that's something special. So they're going to go all in. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Bueller, where is Stout?
Where is Stout? He's at his house, I guess. I don't know. He's the guy. I mean, he's sick with COVID last week.
Oh yes, it's true. You recently had that as well, eh?
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I literally was sick for like a day and a half, and it was like that was it. That was what I've been afraid of for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Like, it was nothing. But I got it from John Stout. We were hanging out, and I took him home or whatever, or to a restaurant, and he had COVID. His wife had COVID, and then he passed it along to me. So thank you, John Stout.
there you go.
Yeah.
I love how you trace that entire connection on the story of how it came along. But yes, Canadian Survivalist, I agree. Give me the Joes, man. I'm pumped for that. There's so much good stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
I just got a chance to meet Larry Hama for the first time.
Oh wow!
About 2 months ago, or about a month and a half ago, and this was right after G.I. Joe was announced. And I hosted a panel for the Comic-Con for him, and I was really trying to get him to spill the beans on the new G.I. Joe. He wouldn't say a word.
No way.
He's like, I'm already 4 issues in. That's the only thing I'll say. Yeah. And I grilled him for a good 10 minutes, and he would not budge at all. It was kind of frustrating, but it was really neat meeting him for the first time because I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. So
yeah. I actually just recently watched the Transformers movie that came out recently. I watched it yesterday for the first time. I know I'm way behind on catching up with some cinema stuff, but yeah. Have you seen it? Did you see the post-credit scene?
I didn't see that one.
All right. Well, they're building up to it, so that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, moving on from this book, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 35. Now, solicitation states that this issue will set up the next 24 issues. We saw what happened with Peter Parker in the last issue, so I'm excited to see this whole Peter Parker Goblin thing. I don't think I've ever seen this happen, so yeah, pretty neat take. Although I gotta say, Amazing Spider-Man's been a snooze fest so far. It's had its moments.
Isn't he evil now? Isn't that kind of the thing that Peter Parker's bad?
Yeah, well, yeah. Peter Parker's been back for a little bit of time.
No, he's bad now, though. Isn't he evil?
No, well, as of now, I guess this is what is going to be taking place because the next 24 issues are going to be set up as of here. We see now Peter Parker he is going to have some goblin in him. So we'll see how this turns out, but I'm keeping my my reservations here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, moving on from this one, Captain Marvel #1. Now I got to say, I'm not the biggest Captain Marvel fan, although I do love reading cosmic stuff. But the covers for this issue, there's quite a few. I don't know if you've seen them on FOC this week, but here the solicitation states that this issue will introduce an all-new supporting cast and villains. So that's cool. We're getting some new characters, fresh faces. This is the Nakayama cover, but I'm a big fan of the Bartel cover. I think that one's very nice. And there's, I believe, a Frizen cover, which is pretty neat.
The last run of Captain Marvel, the real run, was actually pretty good. There were some really good moments in that.
Yep.
If this is, kind of feeds off that, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It was very good. But like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. No, sorry, it's not the Frizen cover I was talking about. There's the Bartel and there's the John Tyler Christopher, the negative. That one is an absolute banger. But yeah, so I agree with you. The last one was very good, but I, it has its moments. It has its moments. Moving on from that, we've got Venom 26. This is the main cover. Now, there's a few interesting covers as well for this one. Likely the first appearance in story of Black Widow bonded with a symbiote. So I don't know if you've seen as of late. There was that cover with her in the symbiote. Pretty neat. Yeah, but
I fell off Venom after Cates left, man. I tried to get into it when is Al Ewing still writing it, or it looks like it's somebody else.
No, it's not Al Ewing, but I know what you're getting at, because there was Al Ewing, there was the Ram V out the gate. It was a little complex. It took a lot. Like, there was a big build to that, right? There was a lot of story and the time jumping and so forth. Meridius, and we came to learn a lot of things about Eddie Brock from the, like, in multiversal sense. I won't get too into it, but later on it did pan out. It did pan out.
This series, are you enjoying it?
It's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I really enjoyed the Cates run. I gotta say, Cates did a great job with Venom, especially with Null.
We want you back, Donny Cates.
Yeah,
back, buddy. We miss you.
Yeah, you saw the news about Donny Cates, right? I had no idea.
What's that?
So apparently he was hospitalized and, like, completely lost memory. He was in a car accident. He completely forgot so much stuff. He's reading. He literally came out in a conversation with somebody. I forget which channel it was. I think it was on YouTube. And he said that he's now reading stuff he wrote, and he had no idea that the Punisher, Frank Castle, was the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and he wrote that.
Yeah. So I saw Donny Cates at San Diego Comic-Con, and this was before that news broke about an accident. He actually told me everything that happened.
Yeah.
I knew about it about 2 weeks before the news came out, but I didn't want to say nothing.
Yeah.
I thought it was his story to tell, but he told me that he almost died and got in an accident and stuff, because we're friends. We've known each other for about 4 or 5 years.
Nice.
And yeah, he really got messed up and stuff. So I'm hoping that he does come back and start doing some stuff. But yeah, he was telling me all that. I was like, I just felt so bad for him. I really did. And then he let the news come out about what happened, because he had mentioned to me he wants to let people know, but he just didn't know when. And I go, well, I won't say nothing. I'll kind of keep it on the lowdown, because he looked unrecognizable. He looked like a whole. I barely noticed him, and he's like, "Hey, Bueller, what's up?" I go, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And we talked for 20 minutes and stuff, and nobody even knew he was there. At San Diego, he was just kind of tucked away in the corner, and there was no sign with his name or nothing like that. And he just kind of was out of it. He looked like he'd aged like 20 years. And
I saw that. I saw the photos.
He's got a big, huge scar on his face, going down his face by his eye and stuff like that. So I wish him lucky. I actually did a video about earlier this year about where is Donny Cates, and just, hey, we miss you. Come on back. I don't know what's going on. He told me he watched the video and he appreciated it, and he appreciated all the people who commented and stuff like that. So that was so, hoping he gets back and does his thing again someday.
Yeah, likewise, man. Like I said, I love Donny Cates on Venom. I loved Donny Cates on Guardians of the Galaxy. He did a great run with the Death of the Inhumans. So many good titles and projects he worked on. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people feel a certain way about how Null was written, and that's okay. To each their own. But yeah, man. Once I heard the news, I was kind of taken back, and I do wish him the best, and I really hope to see him back in speedy recovery, and hopefully soon we'll see him again.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. But before we move on to the next book, just a quick shout out to the House of Nerd coming to hang out tonight, and I greatly appreciate the boys. House of Nerd always doing their thing. Definitely check them out Sundays. They go live, I believe, at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So appreciate them coming to hang out. And K-Pop Junkie, yes, the Mario Kart trash talker right here. I don't know if you're a gamer, Mr. Bueller, but yeah, they're calling me out. They're calling me out to battle them on Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on to the next book. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with American Psycho, the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here it seems that we've got, Patrick Bateman's infamous New York City killing spree from a brand new, different perspective. So I'm kind of interested to see this. There's quite a few covers. One of them even being straight from the movie itself, the scene where he's got the axe. So I think it's pretty neat. I think I'm going to be picking this one up.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yep. And of course, the last honorable mentions, we've got a Marco Mastrazzo cover, which I absolutely love. It's the Joker. It's Joker, the man who stopped laughing, number 11. And Sozo Maika. This is Poison Ivy 15. Beautiful cover. I think this is a gorgeous cover. So I think I'm going to be picking these ones up as well.
The whole run of this Poison Ivy, almost every cover has been fire.
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Like from the A cover to they usually have 5 or 6. Almost every one of them have been awesome.
I agree 1,000%, man. Literally from 1 to now, most of the attention that gets me is the cover. Now I did read it out the gate. It was very interesting. I hopped off rather early. I would say probably around issue 6 or 7, but I keep finding myself grabbing them just for the cover. So I got to catch up on the read now.
That Joker one's pretty good too.
Yeah, no, it's a banger. I love Mastrazzo's art, so
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. See, Sozo kills it with the ladies. I agree 1,000%. But that's the FOC picks of the week by Lefteros. So if you guys aren't yet, definitely go check him out on Instagram, and of course support Lefteros by following Comic Nation. You can go and visit Comic Nation's website and get your FOC orders in right now. Visit comicnation.us and make sure to use the discount code Blakk Crown for an additional 5%. Rounding your discount code to 20% in total. It is now available to Canada and the UK. They have a holding ship box. So you just tell them, guys, hold my books. And whenever you're ready to have it shipped out, you let them know.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. That wasn't too bad.
Awesome.
Yeah. But now we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to market. So I got to ask you again. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Let's do this. Saw you looking over your shoulder when the solo came off. Did we blast the speakers? Did we wake the birds?
I'm just, like I said, I'm just hanging out in the parking lot, so I'm just watching my surroundings and stuff. You
know? People think you're at a concert right now, but
yeah.
All right. So market report. There's quite a few books that moved on the market that were very interesting. Some of them. I never in my life thought I would be seeing them so high up on these charts, and we'll get into it right away. Okay, let's start with number 1, Dazzler number 1, first solo title and first direct distribution comic by Marvel, a CGC 9/8 sold for $244.50 Canadian. This came in at number 1 on cover price. Now, of course, Taylor Swift got this book moving, right? Got this one moving. I see you nodding your head. But hey, it is cooling down. It is cooling down, but the love for Taylor Swift never cools down. And that I forget what they're called. Somebody in the chat was saying it 2 weeks ago. What they call themselves, Swifties or something like that. But yeah, so this one's holding the fort at number 1 on cover price. Never in my life that I think this would be holding it for so long. But what are your thoughts on this one?
So apparently, from what I understand, Taylor Swift is supposed to play Dazzler, which is the big deal.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of the whole Hollywood affecting comics. I think right now it's run its course because every character is in Hollywood now, so it's not special like it used to be. And like the Taylor Swift, I don't see a lot of Taylor Swift fans wanting to go out and buy Dazzler books about another character. I see Taylor Swift fans buying Taylor Swift jewelry or other stuff, not a character that came out before she was born, that had to do with her until just recently. So I think a little backwards how it should be, to be honest. And Taylor Swift sure has a lot of fans, but those fans don't translate into buying more comics of a different character. They translate into buying more Taylor Swift merchandise. Going to buying the dress that she wore, but whatever she's promoting or whatnot. I don't think she's promoting this comic.
No, at all. Absolutely not. Now, what is interesting is that these are rumors, but they've not been denied, right? They've not come out and said, no, this is fake news, right? They're just rolling with it, and no one said a word up until now. But clearly, it's not the Taylor Swift fans that are flocking to the market to pick these up. right? This is just speculators picking it up. Everybody's grabbing this book because they want to make sure they lock it down so that when we do see Taylor Swift, if we do, on the big screen, then they have these copies in hand, and I believe lots of copies will hit the market again.
And just so everyone knows, Dazzler already made an appearance in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
The last movie that they did, the remake of the Phoenix one, she was in the Dazzler character was in that movie. So it's won't be a first appearance if she appears in another Marvel movie or whatever it is. So
exactly. Now, before we move on to the next book, Comic Kingpins are in the house. My boy Face, yes, there he is. So I appreciate you a bit late as usual, but it's fine, bro. What can you do? Yes, exactly. But all right, let's move on from this one now. Star Wars: Here to the Empire, #1. This is a newsstand copy, all right? So this is not a direct. First comic appearance of Thrawn, Mara Jade, and Jarrus. I don't even know how to say that. Sabduth. I think we got it. I think we got it. But check this sale, okay? A CGC 9.8 sold for $1,642 US. That is very close to fixing your truck, sir. And a VF face market value is $200 US. Came in at #8 on cover price. That's pretty impressive numbers.
It is pretty impressive. And honestly, on these books like this, I know they're kind of based on what's going on in the Star Wars universe, but these Dark Horse Star Wars comics, they're not a huge print run of these.
Yeah.
They were very localized. You know, there was a lot of these released in the like in the Portland area and stuff, you know, because Dark Horse is here in Portland.
Yep.
So shops had them, but they weren't like a big, huge, wide release everywhere. So if you can find copies of these books, any of the Star Wars stuff that is Dark Horse, hold on to them. They will hold their value. Star Wars is a big fandom, and I think the fandoms do translate to comic book sales because people actually like the stories inside the pages in the Star Wars universe. So I think all the Star Wars books are pretty decent investments to get into because you got the comic book fan themselves plus the huge nation of Star Wars fans, which huge variety, not just a bunch of teenage girls.
Yeah.
The previous book that we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, and a lot of these books are hard to get in high grade. You know, they were at the time when they're coming out. There's a lot of these are kind of still, if you look at the paper quality, they're kind of lower quality paper.
Yeah.
So to hang on to these books and to get a 9.8, it's kind of hard to do on some of these. So pick them up if you can.
I totally agree. Before we go any further, though, just want to give a shout out to Paul in the 619, my brother from Spine Takes. Appreciate him coming to hang out. What's up, homie? It's awesome to see Bueller on the show. Yes, man. And Bueller is a very great guy for even being here. I appreciate him big time as well. Another guy from Spine Takes, man, Uncanny Swag. I may have missed his comment earlier, but I appreciate you coming to hang out tonight, buddy. All right. So
I met that guy.
Which one?
Uncanny Swag.
Oh, did you? You're a lucky man. You are lucky.
Let me know if ask him in the comments. Hey, we met each other, right? I'm pretty sure he's the one I met. They got all these weird names. I got to remember them all. They don't go by like Robert or like Steve. No, I'm Uncanny Swag. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yep. Man, yeah, no, it is funny because whenever some of us come together from Instagram and YouTube, everybody's introducing themselves by their handle names and never the real names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm sure he's gonna answer in the chat, but we'll move on to the next book and I'll highlight if he does respond. But another Star Wars book was canon, The Last Padawan #6. So this is the first full appearance of Sabine Wren. You got Hera Syndulla and Ezra Bridger. So this I already know why it picked up. I caught up on my stuff. I'm sure you have caught up on Ahsoka. But CGC 9.8 sold for $340 and the near mint face market value is $81. Came in at #5 on cover price. So again, pretty impressive.
Nice.
Yep. Now check this. Uncanny Swag did say, "Yep, my son works at Hall of Justice Comics, and we hung out at Free Comic Book Day." There you go.
Yeah, that was awesome. He was in the video I did, asking him some random questions and stuff. We had a great time. We actually saw each other a couple times when I was down there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you are a lucky man because every time I hang out with him, it's a blast. He's truly a gem, man. I wish I could hang out with these guys. They're too far out west, or actually no. Swag, aren't you in Colorado?
Yeah, it was in Colorado.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't know if he wants people to know that, but oh well.
No, he speaks highly about the Colorado Avalanche, so I think it's pretty obvious.
All right.
But all right, another book that hit as of late, and this was a recent release. It's The Devil's Cut #1. This is the 1 in 100 ratio distillery debut book. That's right. So we've got a new publisher here, and the cover by Junko Mizuno. The raw sale, and this is a high sale, was $225.
Yeah.
Near mint face market value is at 190 US, so it's pretty impressive. Although this is a 1 in 100 ratio, came in at number 10 on cover price, and I don't think this is a bad buy, to be honest with you. The 225 is up there. That hurts the wallet for a modern book, but this is the publisher's debut issue, so I think it's a cool book to own as a part of history.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. They got a lot of really talented creators on board, working on projects. They had a really nice booth at San Con, so I talked with them for a little bit. I'm just not a fan of the prestige format book, the larger size book.
Yeah,
bugs me, man. I mean, I literally don't buy stuff because it is the larger format, even though I would if it was a smaller one. So I think that them going that route might hurt them in the long run. But time will tell.
I'm pretty sure I have OCD because when I picked up my books and then I had 3 of those copies just sticking out that extra bit, I'm like, oh, it's not going to fit in my boxes. This is going to bother me.
Let's face it, comic book collectors have OCD when it comes to their collection and what they like. They like everything to look nice and lined up, the same way, same bag, same boards, all that good stuff. So when you got a book that's, a couple inches bigger on both sides, it's just, it's annoying. And I know that Aftershock started making a bunch of those, and that was like mainly their lineup at a certain point, and they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
And something that hurt them in the long run by doing a lot of the prestige format books, because just a couple of years ago, Aftershock was one of the better, third party brands. So
yeah. But I just want to shout out Sith Lordly right here. Spinetix. Yes, Swag is the only non-Cali guy on my panel. You know what? Makes sense because he's the least tan guy out of the entire batch of guys. So
in Denver. So
but all right, let's move on from this one. Now, this is a gorgeous cover. I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is the Nort's Illustrated Swimsuit Edition #1. Covers by Pablo Villalobos, and it's the 1 in 25 ratio. Now, out the gate, raw, this was going for $80 USD. Near mint face market value at around 68 USD. Came in at number 3 on cover price. I think this is a beautiful cover. Like, this is one. I'm not the biggest Wonder Woman fan to begin with, but I'd definitely be proud to display this. I just would tell my kids to look the other way.
Okay. This is the first time I've seen this cover, and I'm going to be totally honest. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw the 3 stars is that scene in Total Recall with there's a prostitute lady and she's got 3 of something, but not 3 stars, but very similar to where those stars are located.
Yeah.
She's like, look at these.
Yep.
So the whole Total Recall vibe. If anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm seeing right now. So full, thumbs up for sure.
100%. I'm sure it's just the stars you're looking at, but quick shout out to Lady Fantastic who came to hang out in the chat tonight. Greatly appreciate her. If you guys haven't subbed up to Caroline, definitely do, and come and see her on the hunt, man. She's been kicking my butt. So who else we got here? I feel like TKO Collectibles is in the house. Yes, nothing wrong with Adam Hughes covers either. Yeah, 100%. But all right, let's move on from this one. Now, one that's come back onto the list as a runner-up is Amazing Spider-Man 121, Death of Gwen Stacy. I gotta say, when it comes to deaths in comic books, probably this one and, of course, Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, being a huge Spidey fan, I always said those are the 2 characters we can never resurrect, ever, in comics. It would just take away so much. But I gotta say, they did a great job with bringing Gwen Stacy back, and now she's pretty much, I don't want to say a poster girl for children today, but right now, I see nothing but Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, at all the cons I go to, whether it's kids or adults. So
Yeah.
props to Marvel for doing it right.
Yeah, I like this book. I like books like this that had a value before. They had a value before all the Hollywood hoopla. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was written by Jerry Conway.
Yep.
Wrote the death of this. He's one of my favorite writers. He's the guy who, the co-creator of The Punisher, which is my favorite character and stuff. And I actually talked to him one time about this book. I believe this is his favorite book he ever wrote.
Yep.
And see this still to this day get a lot of recognition as far as older fans and newer fans. I think that's pretty cool. So glad to see it on the list.
It's actually one of the only Gwen books that I don't own. I have her first appearance with Harry Osborn. I've got the first Spider-Gwen in Edge of Spider-Verse 2, but I do not have this one. This is the one I want. I've got the Spider-Gwen #1, all of that fun stuff. This one's on the list. Maybe 2024 is the year I lock one down.
Yeah, I never had that one. I did have the first appearance of her on the cover where she's tied up and like there's like a vat of something going to be.
Yes.
That's the only one I had.
Yep. But all right, moving on from this one. This is interesting. Like I said, video game books, I've been saying this all the time, is, they're always making a splash, especially this year. It's nuts. But Diablo #1, this was from DC Comics, and it's a 5-part miniseries.
Huh.
CGC 98 sold for $350. Now, yes, this is I guess you could say, adaptation of the video game, but this is not the first time the video game hit comics. No, it hit prior to this, but this book got a lot of attention this week. A high sale at $350 is pretty impressive. It is a cover price shaker this week.
Wow, I didn't know that DC Comics had to license that for a while.
Yeah,
that's
pretty interesting. Yeah, some people here in the chat, look at this. Hyper, I'm not surprised, says that he's proud to say he owns that Diablo 1 comic. So if you think it's got a chance, I would be submitting that to CGC. Yeah. But all right.
One of the best-selling PC games of all time.
Yes, and the DLCs are almost never ending at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty impressive. But moving on from this one, New X-Men 128. This is the newsstand copy, and it made a very impressive sale. You got the first appearance of Phantom X, CGC 98, sold for $1,111. That's pretty impressive. I'm not too sure if you read this run. It's very good. I strongly recommend it, but it's interesting to see that this hit such a high sale. Of course, being a newsstand, I would say at around this time, newsstands were probably dying out, right? So,
yeah, I would say that this book looks like something that you could probably still pick up in the dollar bins. It's like a book passed over.
I have seen it, but it's not the newsstand. It's always the direct one, right?
Yeah.
So the direct you can pick up probably for even like, I mean, I will say, those shops that would put this up as a wall book, or maybe in a higher end, probably a $10 book, but in a newsstand, I have never come across one. But all right, let's move on from this one. This is a book I have never seen in my life, to be honest with you. Out in the wild, almost nowhere to be found. But Spider-Woman Alpha, #1. This is the 1 in 25 ratio. It's a Stacy Lee cover, and a CGC 98 recently sold for $945. Again, another cover price shaker. And at the rate this is going, for how much I have never seen this anywhere, I'm pretty sure this is going to surpass $945. I almost feel like it's got more room to grow, given the scarcity.
Any significance about this book?
There's actually nothing really significant about it. I mean, other than the fact that there's these 3 characters here. But this event was pretty much a crossover. That crossover, I believe, across 3 issues, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so it's just one of those books that we never see out in the wild. And clearly, a lot of people have flocked to it. Not a lot of people flocked to it, but somebody was willing to pay a premium price for it.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, moving on from this one, beautiful cover right here. I think Granov did a phenomenal job with this one. Now, Uncanny Avengers #1. This is the 1 in 75 ratio. It's interesting because this run, when it came out, there were so many different covers that came out. I don't know if you remember it. It had the Uncanny Avengers characters down the middle, and then on one side it said Uncanny, other side Avengers, and then they would play with the colors, right? That's how we would differentiate. But the one in 75, this one is an absolute beauty, and a CGC 98 sold for $675 US. Again, cover price shaker this week.
That's pretty nice. I haven't seen that one before. That's a nice cover.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely beautiful. All right, this is interesting. So check this. I don't know if you had the opportunity to look at what happened with this book, but TMNT number 30. Now you see that little $10 price tag there. That's pretty impressive, right? Given the time this came out. I believe it was, I want to say 2009. But this is the layered sketch variant, and it was limited to 1,000. That's right. It was distributed by Mirage, and I believe 250 copies out of the 1,000 were signed. There were sketches and so forth. CGC 98 sold for $1,800 Again, cover price shaker.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
Yeah, I would probably just pass right by on that one.
Probably. Do you read TMNT? Have you ever been a big fan, or?
I was a fan of the cartoon growing up.
Yeah,
and then the original movies, but I never really got into the comic books of them.
Yeah.
I believe at that time Archie probably had it or something like that. And we didn't get into those.
Yeah, no, but again, this is very interesting to see that $10. Oh yeah, it even says 2009 there. Sorry, I didn't even acknowledge it, but $10 price tag, pretty impressive. So yeah, moving on from this one. This was the cover price key of the week. Look at these numbers. This is no lie, guys. Batman #1, a newsstand. Again, newsstands at this point, like I said, they were pretty much running dry. CGC 98 sold for $8,500 and I was reading on Cover Price's article about this book that these were pretty much to be found more or less at Barnes and Nobles. And we could say maybe each Barnes and Nobles got maybe 3 copies in a newsstand. So they're almost, I would say it's a very scarce copy to own.
That still seems like a lot of money though.
Yeah. Look, it's one of Batman's best runs, to be honest with you. I actually love this. I will not say it's the best, because obviously the originals will always be what they are.
But let's face it, basically you're paying $8,000 for a barcode.
Sadly,
that's the difference, right? It's a little barcode with says direct sale, whatever it is, our newsstand. You're literally paying for a barcode $8,000.
Yep, exactly. 8,500, because yes, even 500 hurts my pocket right now. But yeah, so it's exactly it. Now, what's interesting is that, of course, Cover Price also mentions that unfortunately CGC does not differentiate when it comes to newsstand copies for this book. So we don't know exactly how many of those graded 9/8s belong to newsstand copies, right? So yes, they'll identify it and indicate it on the label, but to go on the website and see the census, it didn't show. So I'm curious to know how many do exist out there. 8,500. Can you imagine what kind of books you can be grabbing?
You could buy The Death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, over and over.
Over and over.
But all right, now last book on the list. That's right, Baker Shaker, because we will give credit to the man who hit me up and let me know about this. But we spoke a few weeks ago. I believe it was when Steve from Team Nerd Herd was on my show. We spoke about Young Allies #6. This is an Art Adams cover, and again, it's one of those covers that you almost never come across in the wild. Now, a CGC 98 recently sold for $3,250. This sale took place on September 9th, exactly yesterday. So very impressive sale right here for a book. Now, look, Art Adams is incredible. I love his work. I really love his work. One of my favorites from today's time, but that's a heavy price, man. And of course, this all comes into scarcity, right? That's the main reason.
Yeah, I get.
You can't.
Well, that's a lot of money. When I see this, I'm not trying to put these books down, but when I see a book like this, it's great. And yeah, maybe it's the scarcity or whatnot. But when you can compare it to some stuff from the Bronze Age, from the Silver Age, that you can get that are true, let's just call them real keys. Okay. Yeah. In comparison for that same price range, it's like, for me, it's a no-brainer. You know, if you had the chance to buy this for $3,250, or the chance to buy the first appearance of the Punisher for $3,250, what are you going to buy?
Yep.
You're going to buy the Punisher. You know,
Yeah.
and anyone can put up another argument against that. You know, so I don't know. It's interesting to see some of these prices like that, but it's a neat looking book. I mean, you know, that's what's her name from the cartoon.
Yeah. But it like you said, you know, it is interesting because it sounds like you and I collect very much the same way. If I had to pick, I would be picking Bronze, Silver
Yeah,
Age books over this. But again, the scarcity and you know, I guess we could say modern books do have
yeah.
some fire behind them. So, but all right, that was the market report. Not too bad. Again, not too bad. Pretty interesting though, right? Some big sales right there.
Yeah, yeah. I wait for those big sales. I like the dollar bins.
Yeah, the dollar bins is where it's at, and I could only imagine how many times you were looking at those sales and you're like, "That could have paid my truck. That could have paid my bus."
Gosh, luckily
Yep,
I had that sale yesterday. And I raised a decent amount of money, so helped out quite a bit. So
there you
I'm
go.
better off.
Yep. Some people in the chat saying Firestar. Yeah, I don't remember if I said it or not, but yes, that's definitely Firestar. It's funny you mentioned that cartoon. My son just started getting into the older cartoons, and we were watching that a few weeks ago. So yeah, brought back some not too far memories right there.
Yeah, it's nice to know that all that stuff's available like the Disney Channel now. You can just watch it anytime you want.
It is, and I get to relive my childhood with them now, so it's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But all right, some hot topics before we go. We're gonna get through some of them. I gotta ask you one last time. Are you ready?
I'm more than ready.
Let's do this. All right, so some interesting topics this week. I've been coming across some articles, lots of talks about rumors and so forth. Now, for once, I'm not going to be talking Deadpool rumors because Deadpool 3, it seems like everybody's making an appearance, right?
Yeah.
But let's get into the first topic. Now, I don't know if you heard about this, but Giancarlo Esposito is apparently going to be joining James Gunn's DC universe. Apparently, he says at least. He reveals he's had talks with DC Studios co-chairman and CEO James Gunn about a role in the new DCU. During an appearance at Comic-Con Panama, Esposito said, I had been talking to James Gunn about the possibility about being in a movie, so who knows, it could happen. So nothing confirmed, but it was cool to see Esposito, mention that the talks had begun. So earlier, we had seen some rumors about him joining the MCU. There was a lot of people saying, hey, he would be awesome as, let's say, even Magneto. Now we're getting him saying he's been in talks with James Gunn, DCU stuff. I'm getting Brainiac vibes. There's people saying Lex Luthor vibes.
That's what I thought of right there. Maybe Lex Luthor.
Yeah. So, and another one is Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with all three of those. Honestly, if Giancarlo Esposito joins the DCU, that's a big gain. That's a big gain for them, in my opinion.
Well, I'm lucky enough to say I got a chance to meet him a couple years ago, and we were hanging out a little bit at a Comic-Con. He was a guest at, and I was the host. And it was funny because I was wearing a Los Pollos Hermanos shirt, which is the chain that he was the owner of in Breaking Bad. And I go, yeah, I have 3 of these shirts. I have a gray one, a brown one, and a yellow one. So we were kind of talking about that. But this guy, I kid you not, every time I've ever seen him, he is dressed to the nine, dude. He's got a suit on, a tie.
Yeah.
He walks into the room, you feel it. You feel it. He has a presence about him. So he's a cool cat. He's a really cool cat. So anything he does, I'm on board. It doesn't matter what he's doing. If he can play Robin for all I care.
Yep. No, look, I don't disagree with you. In fact, my first introduction to Giancarlo Esposito was in Breaking Bad. So
yeah,
I absolutely loved seeing him in that show. And yeah, you're right. He is always dressed to the nine, like you said. Maybe it's because he's got that Italian name. He's got the Italian style.
And he's a really nice guy because, like, he had a line around the corner at the con at the Washington State, and he stayed till everyone was taken care of. Even like it was like an hour after the con ended, he stayed the whole time, made sure everyone was happy. He spent time with the Star Wars group that was there that sets up and stuff like that. So he's a class act. I'm happy to see him do in stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah. And again, look, it's cool to see the chat a little divisive here. You've got House of Nerds saying that they feel he's a bit overrated. Great character in Breaking Bad, Saul, but he plays the character the same in every role. No range at all. Look, I think him joining either the MCU or DCU would be great to see exactly how far he can go. Like I said, Brainiac, Lex Luthor, Mr. Freeze, three characters I would love to see him play. I think we would see a great range at that point.
Well, if you go back earlier in his career, like when he was in his 20s and 30s, he played a lot different characters. Go back to Do the Right Thing with Spike Lee.
Yes.
Check that movie out, and you'll get a different range. So,
yep. But all right, other news that broke. Ahsoka episode 5 is to be shown in theaters. Now, I don't know if you've seen episode 4 yet. If you haven't yet, well, fear not, because Disney spoiled it themselves. Ahsoka episode 5 will screen in select theaters as part of the Ahsoka mid-season fan celebration, marking the midway point of the Disney Plus series. Now, check this. There's select theaters, of course, so AMC theaters in Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York, Orlando, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington. Pretty cool. And the fact that they're doing this is not only cool, they're doing it, it's free. It's first come, first serve. Yeah, it's free. So
is episode 5 a longer episode, or is like the same length as other ones?
I believe it's going to be the same length. Now, of course, it's going to be dropping on Disney Plus as well on Tuesday, but the fact that, well, we got a certain character making their way into the last episode, who you can see on this poster here.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal, and I only imagine that they're inviting fans to select theaters because episode 5 seems like it's going to be big, maybe something pivotal, something huge for the Star Wars universe. So that's the only thing I could see. I mean, although I'm sure the fans appreciate the gesture, but I don't think they would do this just as a mid-season fan celebration. There's got to be something behind this.
I like the Disney Star Wars universe that they've done. I pretty much have liked all the shows.
Yeah,
I caught up on all of them except for this series. But I thought the Marvel stuff that they've done is just okay.
Oh yeah.
In comparison to the Star Wars stuff, which I think has been excellent. I think the Mandalorian was really good. Boba Fett was a little cheesy here and there, especially with the bikes that they were riding. Boba Fett. But like, I liked Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought that was really good. That was probably my favorite one, was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I gotta agree. Well, that and Andor.
Yeah, Andor was good as well. But the more they expand on the Star Wars universe, because I think a lot of it, the Marvel universe has been written over and over and over. I mean, Spider-Man can only save the lady so many times. Okay, still feels like Star Wars, they can do some fresh stuff. Because it's not really based in reality. The Marvel universe is somewhat based in real life. It's not, where this is cosmic, this is all over the galaxy, this is different races. I mean, it seems like endless. So everything still feels a little bit fresh and new as compared to just kind of recycled storylines we've read about for years. So I like it. I'm really enjoying it.
I agree with you. And to be honest, I was not the biggest Star Wars fan growing up. In fact, like Rebels really got me into it, but now I'm finding myself really enjoying Star Wars. I guess we could say at an older age. It's one of those series coming to Disney Plus where I look forward to. Although I was a bit behind on Ahsoka, this episode got spoiled for me before I even got a chance to watch it, but it's something I'm enjoying a little more than I am some of the MCU content. So I do agree with you. But all right, let's move on from this. Now, Jonathan Majors is confirmed to appear in half of Loki season 2. So that's pretty impressive. Now, one thing I do want to say is that, yes, he's been going through some stuff in his personal life. You know that he's pretty much in court. In court and so forth. And Disney's never said anything about this, right? They're still moving forward. Now he's going to be in half of the season of Loki season 2. And that's pretty impressive screen time as well for the season, because the season is 6 episodes. So it's safe to say if he's in half, well, we're going to see him in 3. I imagine out the gate we'll see Victor Timely, right? Because we saw Loki season 1 end with him in a new timeline, having to meet Mobius again. Mobius is like, slow down. What are you talking about? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. I think that we're going to see, we've already seen within the sneak trailers, Loki and Mobius in that Yes, we could say theater, looking at Victor Timely, and Loki's like, it's him, right? So I think we'll see Loki getting Mobius up to speed out the gate. We'll see him there, but I expect the second half of the season to be very focused on Jonathan Majors. This is
Yeah,
good news.
I don't know.
You don't know?
The first season of Loki didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And then I'm not really looking forward to this season either. So I might catch it if I'm really bored, stuck down on the river somewhere in the middle of nowhere. There's something I don't know, but I'll probably a pass for me. So
Yeah. But no, I'm actually really pumped for this. This is gonna be shaping the way, I guess we could say, for what's to come in the MCU. It has been a bit of a drag, so
just give me Secret Wars. That's all I want.
straight to it, straight to it.
Yeah,
But all right,
they missed an opportunity to bring the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in there with that last Spider-Man movie that they did.
yeah,
There's a scene with all three Spider-Man, okay, and they're
yeah,
talking to each other, and they're like, and our current Spider-Man goes, "Oh, I helped save the universe with the Avengers," and then the other two Spider-Man, "Oh, well, who are the Avengers?" And he's like, "Oh, they're a superhero team." They could have said, "No, I helped it with the X-Men, or I helped it with the Fantastic Four," and they could have referenced them. Imagine that little reference there.
that
You
would
know,
have been
oh,
cool. Yeah,
we have a group called, or we don't have the Avengers. We have a group called the X-Men. And I
yeah.
thought that was really cool little nod to the other teams and stuff like that. But they missed it. So
Well, now that you put it that way, you kind of have me a little disappointed they didn't do that.
yeah, come on.
Yeah, cool. But all right, let's move on from this one. Now, you spoke Secret Wars, but apparently Sam Raimi is reportedly the top choice to direct Avengers Secret Wars. So, I look, I don't know how you feel about that. I personally enjoyed Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I didn't think it was so bad. Some people felt a certain way, but I'm okay with either him or the Russo brothers. I think the Russo brothers absolutely killed it when it came to Avengers stuff, especially with Infinity War, Endgame. So I'm cool with that. Now, Sam Raimi, I think he's a great director. I'm not too sure. What are your thoughts on this?
I've always liked Sam Raimi. He did the Army of Darkness and that series and stuff like that. That was when I was first introduced to him. And Army of Darkness is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Did the original Spider-Man movies and stuff. I think the first two. I don't know, but I can't remember if he did the third one. But I've
Mhm.
always liked him. I think he's a pretty good director. He has a different vision. He looks at things a little bit differently, a little bit comical and stuff, and he puts nods to his other movies in his current movies.
Yep.
So there's references in Spider-Man to Army of Darkness or to Evil Dead.
Yes.
And if you're a fan of those, you'll see him right away. So I like stuff like that. So if
Yeah.
he is doing Secret Wars, I'm really hoping it's the Jim Shooter version of Secret Wars. That's the one I want to see. And Jim Shooter has told me that he's talked about it with them before. So I hope that is the case. I mean, if they have the whole Marvel universe, that's what they need to do it. They have them. They have them all now. So just do it, and let's get the ball rolling. Stop wasting my time. I'm only getting older.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that would be awesome. It's crazy to think that Jim Shooter is telling you this directly. That's pretty cool.
Well, he told me this years ago that they
Yeah.
came to him, they offered to pay him off to get the rights clean and free for Secret Wars. So he
Yeah.
originally said, "No, you don't need to pay for it." Stuff. I understand. You guys have it. And then eventually he took the check, and so now Marvel has a clean title, all their own and stuff like that with the Secret Wars. And you told me about that like 5 years ago.
Yeah. That-
Something that they're working towards for a very long time.
That's really cool to hear, man. But yeah, no, I look, obviously I've got high hopes for Secret Wars. Apparently this is going to be pushed again. They're looking at apparently a 2028 release date. So it's going to hurt. It's pretty far away. I really hope that's not the case. Now, some of these strikes and delays, unfortunately, are going on at the moment. I'm hoping the studios cave relatively soon
I'm
because
in my mid-50s by the time this movie comes out.
there you go. So we need this. Get it out there for
Yeah,
Bueller,
come
for
on.
everybody.
I don't want to be the creepy old dude in the theater. Come on.
Right? But all right, and let's talk about this. This was pretty much some big news for myself, and I actually think that this headline is clickbait. I was talking with someone here in the chat, Chia Pet, who seemed to be in agreement with me, but Rotten Tomatoes has reportedly been manipulating movie scores for over 5 years by PR firms paying critics for positive ratings. Now, this, like I said, seems like clickbait because if you do read the actual article, you'll see here it says in 2018, a movie publicity company called Bunker 15 took on a new project, Ophelia, a feminist retelling of Hamlet starring Daisy Ridley. Critics who had seen early screenings had published 13 reviews, 7 of them negative, which translated to a score of 46% on the all important aggregation site Rotten Tomatoes. So this is the backstory of what happened at the beginning of this, which was a disappointing outcome for the film. Now, just because the tomatoer says a title is rotten, scoring below 60%, it doesn't need to stay that way, right? Bunker 15, now that is what I want people to focus on. Bunker 15 went to work. While the most film PR companies aim to get the attention of critics from top publications, Bunker 15 takes a more bottom up approach, recruiting obscure, often self published critics who are nevertheless part of the pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. So it's not Rotten Tomatoes directly that's doing this, right? In another break from standard practice, several critics say Bunker 15 pays them $50 or more for each review. So this is where the article makes a little more sense as opposed to Rotten Tomatoes saying, yeah, let's pay people, right? I thought that was a little
Yeah,
clickbait.
it wouldn't make any sense for Rotten Tomatoes to pay people
No, exactly.
for their reviews or positive or negative reviews because it doesn't do Rotten Tomato any good.
Yeah.
The payoff is the studio. Okay, the
Yeah.
studio better review and stuff like that. So it would make sense for a studio to go out and pay for these reviews to get it better. You know, it's just like in YouTube. We'll do it this way in YouTube. Say if some vendor sends me stuff, you know, they're sending me stuff, so I'll give it a positive review and talk kindly of it. I'm not going to get their stuff from a third party
No.
and give it a good review or whatnot. That doesn't benefit that third party. So for this, it looks like Rotten Tomato is just a bigger name to put on the headline.
Yep, exactly.
That's why it's on there. The actual problem is with studios per se paying for reviews. You get a better review that way. It gets reflected on the review sites, not only Rotten Tomato but whatever other ones have a percentage system as well.
Exactly. You nailed it on the head. That's exactly what's taking place here. And of course, we've got, Bunker 15, who is really the one who's been doing the payoffs for some reviews. So just wanted to clear that up because I saw a lot of people talking about it on a negative site, stating that it was Rotten Tomatoes when clearly that's not the case. So,
yeah.
And of course, manipulation is expected, right?
When you look at something like that, all you got to do is just ask, okay, how does that benefit Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
And there's no benefit either way. And so why would they do it? If there's no benefit, negative or positive, it doesn't matter what the review score is on their end.
Exactly.
So just the 2 and 2 don't equal 5. So I mean, it's not going to work.
Exactly. But Mr. Bueller, that was the hot topics of the week. Not too much, like I told you. For once, we're not talking Deadpool 3 and so forth. But yeah, so it was pretty fun. That was the show. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I enjoyed it, man. And congratulations, by the way, on I know you're doing a 250 subscriber giveaway, but you're well past that.
Yeah, I'm a little over that now. So it's this now makes the 15th episode. So like I said, relatively new. And yeah, man, the channel's been doing great, all because of supporters and of course great guests like yourself. So I greatly appreciate you coming to hang out.
Are you having a good time? You liking it?
Yeah, man, it's great. Look, I'll be honest with you. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years. I've been hopping on other people's channels, and of course, part of the Comic Kingpins for the last 2 years. They're doing their thing. They're doing great, continuing the show. It's just because it's difficult for myself with 2 kids to be doing live shows at 8 p.m. Eastern time on a Monday.
Yeah, kids ruin everything.
They do. I should have thought twice. But
thought twice.
Yeah, but no, it's really what it came down to, and I was trying to think of a way to say, hey, I love doing what I'm doing, and it's just I gotta hit reset at this point and do what just fit my schedule. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now on Sundays, and I'm really enjoying it. Just hanging out with some fine people like yourself. I had Swaggle Haas, I've had the Pressable Defects on here, and it's just been a great time. Cover Price themselves were here in the last episode, so
Yeah, I saw that, and I can't remember that guy's name.
it was Matt DeVoe.
Yeah, so him and I each other at New York last year, and we spent the hanging out, just having drinks together and talking
Yeah,
about comics. So he's a really good dude. Him and his partner who own the Cover Price, the other guy is a big fan of my travel and stuff like that. He's into the van life, bus life stuff.
yeah.
So he's been watching all my posts and everything like that. And who knows, maybe a Cover Price might be a sponsor. We've talked about it in the past, so they might be coming on board. So
That would be awesome, man. I really hope that works out for you guys. I think you guys would be a phenomenal pairing. And like you were just saying, he's a fan of your van life, right? You're living the dream. You are living the dream. I could assure you. If I didn't have kids, well, who knows? Maybe by the time I'm around your age, they'll be a bit older, so they can fend for themselves. I don't got to worry about supper anymore, putting them to bed. Maybe I'll hit the road.
yeah, that's the nice thing about my kids are in their mid-20s, and they're both doing really good.
Good.
And I don't, as a parent, you always worry about your kids, but really they're doing great. So I'm just really proud of them, and so with that means that I get to enjoy what I want to do and kind of live my life. And I was like, well, let's take advantage of it and do something kind of cool. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing the last couple of years, and it's been great. And my kids see me happy and enjoying life, and they're happy for that. So it's a win-win. So
Yep, you couldn't ask for better. That is the life success right there. Is kids are good, everybody's good. That's all
very,
you could wish for.
very blessed.
Yep. But before we let the people go, I just want to give everybody a very quick reminder that this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be joined by Dan Latorre and maybe some other surprise guests for the 250 subscriber giveaway show. Guys, like I said, giving away comics, gift cards, all of it donated by Lefteros, Comic Nation, and by Dan Latorre. So this is going to be a fun one. It is open to everybody. So make sure you are there live to win tons of free stuff. This is just my way of saying thank you for subscribing.
Nice.
Mr. Bueller, is there anything you want to let the people know before we let you go?
Just if you can join me on Thursday, like I was saying earlier, we do a claim sale on my channel at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Dynamite. They come on the channel, they sell a bunch of their Dynamite books. They also have other books, vintage DC Marvel books as well. The reason I'm bringing that up is because whatever is sold, there's a nice percentage of that I'm donating to Jennifer, and the more I can help, or we can help Jennifer, the better, with her bout through cancer. And so if you're gonna watch any video that I do, watch that one. I don't really do anything in that video, but you can if you see a book you like and you want to buy it, know that a nice little chunk of that money is gonna help a fellow community member with their struggle. So check that out. And that's about it. Thanks for having me on, man. This is fun.
Appreciate you coming to hang out. Hopefully we can do this again sometime soon. And when you make your way to Canada, don't forget, give me a shout. I will take you to some cool shops.
That'd be awesome. I'm really am looking forward to going to Canada, and I'm really looking forward to meeting people because I don't know anything about Canada, where to go or whatnot. So you guys have to help me.
Oh,
So,
I will totally help you, and I will make sure to warn you in advance. Depending the months you come, you might need some winter tires on that truck.
what's the coffee shop there in Canada?
The what?
What's the coffee shop there in Canada?
Tim Hortons.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to going to one of those.
I had some just before our show because we had my dad's birthday.
there's a van life YouTuber guy that I know. His name is Chrome. He does a van life channel in Canada, and he goes there like every day to get his coffee and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
hoping when I go to Canada, I get to meet him in person, plus do all the other stuff with the comics. So
If you make your way here to Montreal, I can assure you, Tim Hortons. I mean, sure, we can go there, but I could take you to some good French bars and good coffee shops, and of course, great comic shops. The food in Montreal is so diverse. It's multicultural here, like beyond multicultural. So you get a bit of everything here, and I will introduce you to poutine. a poutine. So I don't know if you've ever had one of those before. Oh,
Yeah.
it is French fries, cheese curds, gravy. It is you
Uh,
chop smoked meat, throw it in there. Your arteries are
yeah.
gonna feel
Yeah.
it.
I'm totally down.
Yeah, sounds good. So, guys, thank you so much, Mr. Bueller. Of course, big special thanks to you for coming to hang out. Guys, don't forget, come hang out Wednesday and, of course, next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, I will see you next time. Have a good night, guys.